All right, giddy up. It's Friday. Bill Kyper and Bourne show. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Derek Brandeo, Jen Rolnick. Did I get it right? Jen's really here?
Cool.
That is so cool.
What a start.
We are live on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, Sportsnet 360, and Sportsnet Plus on this Friday off the rails. Can we just go straight to Doug MacLean? Because something tells me he's going to have more energy than the three of us combined right now. And Sammy didn't even work last night.
But he's a
He's
a good soldier. He watched the hockey match, which is pretty insane.
hung in there. The game you speak of, obviously in our Leaf Edition hour of our program, San Jose Sharks and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I should have stayed at the ball game. I just should have let you do the show by yourself. I went to the Blue Jay game. I figured 3 o'clock, 10:30 puck drop, no pregame show, plenty of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one beer.
Yeah.
I figured it would wear off completely.
Yeah.
I should have
just kept
drank
drinking.
6 or 8. I'll tell you how bad of a day it was for Toronto sports yesterday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that we might have a podcast, even if it lasts only 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They should do a podcast combining the Blair and Barker show with Real Kyper and Bourne show, because the 3 minutes on the exchange is
Actually,
awesome.
It's honestly,
It's awesome.
You would call it The Exchange, which is a great name for a podcast.
Wow.
And at The Exchange, we do like a 5-minute where we ask them dumb questions, big questions. How many are they going to win this year?
Yeah.
Well, what happened last night? And we just get our 5 minutes and off we go.
And Barks, as he so many times does over his show just, rips it out. Like, he looks at me and he goes, whose team sucked more yesterday?
Listen,
Yours or mine?
my darling mother texted me from Spain this morning. They've been in Spain for 6 weeks. Good trip, good timing.
Yeah.
And she's, she still watches the show. She said, "Oh, it's a tough day for Toronto sports fans today." And I said, "Yeah, what else is new, Mom? Like, this is I was simply born in it, like the fire or whatever it is. Like, I know this. This is old hat."
It's a Thursday.
Yeah. Did you have fun at the game?
12-2? Is that what it was? 12-2?
I always can have fun at a ball game because
I had
it's
a good
just a
time.
different pace and you could look away for a very long time and not feel like you've
You went
missed
too?
anything.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
I went down and I was sitting in my seats with my brother-in-law, my nephew for a little bit. And then I went and kissed some babies, met some friends, saw some guys from my hockey team, met up with old JD and Ben Ennis. And
Oh, beautiful.
I took it a little deeper than I needed to.
Yeah.
I was just, I'm hurting a little bit today.
Yeah.
How did you hang in there till like 1:30 in the morning for San Jose?
Couch nap.
Passion. And I slept through the second part of the second period. But other than that, I watched the whole thing, and I was woken to the dulcet tones of Nick Kypreos and Justin Bourne breaking it down on our Sportsnet Ontario broadcast. What a job by you guys.
Oh.
Great
Broke it down.
suits.
You know what's funny is we actually, I think it was the second intermission where we had a bunch of positive packs put together. We were going to try to all right, let's not, be too hard on him here. Here's a good thing. Here's a good thing. And 3 minutes before we went to air, we're like, we can't do this. This is just not accurate. And we immediately were just show them being terrible.
Let's get back to our roots.
Let's be who we are. I was not. How can you watch that game and go, oh, I really liked the third line. The third line, because that was part of what we had built. And it was like, every other player's bad.
We suck.
You are thrilled for Scott Laughton, though.
Thrilled.
Thrilled.
He was their best player last night.
That's not great.
No, it's really
I'm
bad.
thrilled.
If you can't feel for that guy, then something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was good last night,
He was good.
good touches.
He played quicker. He looked quicker. I don't know if he played quicker. I mean, he skates, and there's some games that you think he's really slow, but not last
goal,
night. He played quick last night.
Skates it out of the corner instead of just, staying in mud. So I feel like he had something going yesterday. That was good.
I think the most positive thing was teeing up the game by our very own David Amber, talking about how a win could make everybody feel like they're on top of the world, or at least top of the Atlantic Division, and you could be staring at third before the game.
Yeah.
So
you're first in the league for a reason. So
they're still right there. I mean, it was
You're in the lead.
An important point last night that they salvaged, but I don't think it really comforts anyone today.
Can you really look at it like that? Like, can you really squint and look at it like that?
Hey,
I can.
We are still kind of trying to see the sun come up today. No,
it's just, well, what do you think the point of margin, or the margin of points is going to be that wins this division at the end of the year on April, whatever the last 2, 3 tops, right?
Yeah.
And if they don't win the division and they end up playing Tampa Bay, who is just a wagon, like they are so good right now. If they end up playing, they've been good. And if they end up playing them in the first round and they miss the top of the division by 3 points, you're going to have to go to sleep at night and think about the 4 wasted points against 2 of the worst teams in the league in the last month of the season.
You may be right, except it won't be Tampa. Tampa will win the Atlantic. They'll play Florida.
You think so?
I like Tampa right now.
Okay.
But also, I got 2 thoughts on this. One is that point matters, and I can squint at it and say it's a good thing because tied with Tampa in games played, they have 1 more point than Tampa. So it does matter. They very well could, that could be the separator between first and second, third. The other thing is just we have this like recency thing of like, okay, the month of March, they've given away 2 points to San Jose, 2 points to Nashville. That's what you're going to look to and say you blew it. But if you go back over the season, we got a great tweet from Keon Goatman, who sent us Tampa, Florida, and Toronto against the bottom 5 teams in the league. And Toronto's missed 4 points between San Jose, Chicago, Nashville, Philadelphia, and Buffalo. Florida's missed 6. Tampa's missed 6. You lose to bad teams sometimes. So I don't think we need to overreact.
I really prefer it in November. Or
For sure,
can I ask,
it's better. It's better to not do it at all.
Do you know when those losses were? Because that's, to me, the most important part. And looking ahead to playoff-type atmosphere and killer instinct-type games, when you know what's at stake, they went into all those games against these crappy teams knowing if they win, they solidify their division lead more. It's not about, like, of course everybody loses to crappy teams. It's the NHL.
Yeah.
But it's more about them knowing what's at stake going into that game last night and losing to the Sharks 2 times this year. It's crazy.
It's pretty bad.
Or how?
Florida beat them 7-2 when they went there. I
The-
don't know.
The how part is the most bothersome. Not even giving up a point or what should have been losing 2 points last night. Like it's a 6-3 final, right?
Yeah.
Like that close to a 6-3 final.
Yeah, one of their dudes banked it off the post and, ends up
Okay,
5-5.
we need a Craig Berube silver lining here. Will we find it in his overview?
I would say it was his shortest press conference of the year. I would say he was tired and not wanting to talk to the media, but we'll play the clips that I got. We got 3 clips from him. We'll play the first one, the overview of the game.
Did a great job at the end of the game to get a point. We had a lot of good looks in OT, didn't go in, but, we didn't play very well in the first period. I mean, they were all over us, I thought. And, outskated us in the first, just looked quicker than us.
Quicker.
Yeah, and the first period thing I think is super relevant. That was one of the things that we keyed on. Kyper had a pack put together of McMahon ices it in his first shift, turns it over in the neutral zone, turns it over in the D zone, a hat trick of zonal turnovers there.
Right.
And that was kind of the theme, is just guys couldn't handle the puck. And, God, I'll be honest, San Jose looked faster. They looked faster.
Oh, it wasn't even close, guys.
Yeah.
And their power play has been so good, and it was great again last night to get some 2 goals. But I hate that shorthanded goal where you give that up to, like, they can score first. Like, teams score first. That's fine. But to score that power play goal, and your power play is one of the best in the league.
Didn't bother me.
What?
Yeah.
It drove me crazy.
We often talked early when we first heard about 5 forwards about this being an issue, and it hasn't been all season. So,
well, I'm not worried about the 5 forwards thing. It's just a point of the game where you're at, where you have a chance to step on a young, crappy team, and you give up a short.
It was a kind of a colossal few mistakes, including Mitch Marner getting picked, I think, off of
It was a great pick.
a back check that Willie was involved in that too. There was like 3 of them all together there, but it does happen. You do give up a shorthanded goal. It hasn't happened as often as we probably would have thought with 5 forwards months ago.
The 3 worst teams in the NHL at giving up shorthanded goals are Boston, Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
I think
The Leafs are, there.
I
They've
think
given up 7 this year.
giving up a shorthanded there, or even the fact that the power play's really hot, which is great.
Awesome.
But it's not even close to being their issue right now. They can't play 5-on-5 hockey.
Finn, what did we say last night?
They can't go against
They never have the puck.
They cannot play even strength with San Jose last night 5-on-5.
But do you believe that they can't, or that they played bad?
I think they can't come out of their own zone, and they cannot. They can't have a sustained forecheck. Mm-hmm. How many times did we see last night or in the last few weeks of dumping it in, and then either the team skating it out or making 1 or 2 passes and it comes back out? Like there's nothing that is sustainable in their playbook right now.
It just feels like a lot of ozone turnovers, a lot of like trying to make a play up by the blue line or trying to get too cute.
Yeah.
Do you remember, I know when I was younger, and I'm sure when you were in the NHL, like the cycle was a thing where you just took it up the wall and banged it back in the corner, and you literally just like...
Have we seen them cycle?
No, I don't think they've sustained any sort of like, motion with the puck.
Who are the first players you think of when you think of cycle?
Sedin's.
Yeah, that's it. Where it was just like, they'd do it for 5 minutes, it felt
you're
like.
like, someone attack.
Do something.
Take it to the
They're
hoop.
like, no, just going to keep cycling it down low. Sedin's used to do that all the time. No, you're right.
Okay, let's... what do you want?
Go to the second clip, because I think it's interesting.
All right.
You guys know.
Well, they are a quick team, but I think that maybe the travel yesterday and everything. We just weren't on our toes. We got better as the game went along. We made some mistakes. We all got to be better, goalie included. We're just not good enough.
I'm not a big fan of pulling in the traveling. Don't want to hear it after that one.
If I got to hear
traveling,
energy levels or road trip or travel anymore, it's like, I get, but doesn't every team travel a ton? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
You're not wrong.
It's just like, how many times have we talked about it this year? Have you talked about it more with a team, with the schedule and the travel? It's rigorous.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for everybody. I don't know.
Yeah. And everybody loses.
Yeah.
It's tough to know which games to react to appropriately and which is like, they kind of mailed it in. It's like, well, that's not very good. 11 games to go in the season.
Yeah.
With the division on the line.
I don't know what the issue is. I really don't. Or is it just that?
I mean, they are in first, right? If to go full Joe Thornton here, they are in first.
But last night is a recipe for a first round exit. You understand that, right?
Absolutely. But you'd like to think that the game 1 against whoever you're playing, wherever it is, you're going to be a little bit more locked in than you are to start that game. You'd like to believe that there's some switch that you can flip. But they're not going to give the San Jose Sharks
That's at the heart of the conversation we're having is, does that switch exist here? Can
I don't
they
know.
do that?
I don't know. Anytime, guys, anytime.
They're all just hanging out at the switch. What do you want to do? When should we flip this thing?
Is it time yet?
Someone will do it later.
But is there anything fundamentally that needs to change?
I still think the third line is not going to be the third line. Like Nick Robertson took a couple. What game was it? He took 2 penalties. Too many men, followed by the slap shot against the Flames, I think.
Yes.
And then they scored on that power play. Last night he turned over the puck 1,104 times, then took a penalty, and then they scored on the power play. And I could not be more confident that he's going to watch the Kings game on Saturday night. There's no chance he plays on Saturday. And if he does,
he's out of the scratch rotation.
Well, like I'd be fully floored about what they're saying, the statement that would be making.
Yeah.
About his spot in the lineup, which I don't think is secure enough for him to play like that.
Yeah.
And take penalties.
The coach mentioned in that clip, Wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Worthy of a conversation here.
My stance a week ago, 10 days ago, was that this guy unless he falls off.
Yeah.
And last night was a fall off. It was. Now,
You didn't like some of the saves he made when we were watching the game last night.
Shaky.
Yeah.
I just didn't see the same calmness, the same crisp movements that we've seen earlier this year. That is by far his worst game. Maybe you got to go back to when he first got called up. I don't know. I have no idea. But the puck that went through him was Renberg's,
Wenberg, yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then the complete
The full Marc Andre Fleury.
stick of dynamite up the middle.
Yeah.
See, are you more prone to write that off as a one-off weird thing, or is that like a
No.
indicative of his mental?
That's not enough for me to say, oh, I'm going to go to Stolarz necessarily. Like, Stolarz has got a big game tomorrow night
But
in
does
LA.
that bad goal mean anything to you about where he's
Yes, it there is somewhat of a concern of where is his mindset right now and what's going on between the ears. And last night
Confidence.
we talked about go back to conversations in training camp or the first few weeks that these guys you're really banking on guys that have never been there to hold the fort like that on a contending team of a Stanley Cup for a Stanley Cup. And where are they going to be when the chips are down between the ears? They're going to be able to stay as calm as they were in November, in March and April. Right now, I hope it's a great learning experience for him last night.
Yeah.
And he's going to get another crack. He's going to play against Anaheim.
Yep.
So just you're going to got to rebound well and look no further than Stolarz' start Saturday night, and you go from there.
I'll say the scary thing, which I think is probably in the back of people's minds that they don't want to hear, is like, I spent quite a bit of time in the minors, whether as a player or as a coach, and you would see guys go up for a few games, and they can do it for a few games, right? Adrenaline, they're fired up, and everyone goes, this guy's all right. And then if it's a prolonged injury, they can't sustain that, right? Like, there's a reason you can't go max out 82 games, and they start to get exposed over time. Woll and Stolarz entered this year as like, let's see what they can do. This is their crack to be starters, big year, money on the line, and both of them came out of the gangbusters. As the season is getting on here, I'm worried that both look pretty average, just the last month or so. And, what is the true, obviously they can be the guys they were there for a while, but are they getting tired? Are we likely to see that best version of them we got at the start of the year?
I don't know. Can we is the term quantify how much stress has been on the two of them all season long to be really, really good? Like, has their play come down 15 or 20% and it exposes the Leafs for not being that strong of a roster as you would have hoped when they were at the top of their game?
I mean,
So if they're pulled down 10 or 15%, does that mean like now the Leafs are going to give up 4, 5, or 6 goals a night?
what was your
No,
I mean, that's a big jump from what they
I'm
do
just
give up.
saying.
Yeah.
Like if they're pulled back and they're not the best two tandem in the league, is it an extra goal and a half a game on this roster?
I mean, I have no idea. The math on it's probably that instead of giving up 2.9, they give up 3.3 or something, which, there's a couple games where it's 4 instead of 3, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah. I think you look at look at the games played totals now. Like, if Stolarz is now at his career high and Woll's
Let me
13
rephrase the
games
question.
above it.
Let me rephrase the question. If they had played all season long like they're playing in the last 2 or 3 weeks, where do you think this team is?
Dogfight with Ottawa right now.
No question.
Yeah. Battling it out at the, 7 points last or 8 points
That's what
last.
I basically wanted to
Yeah.
get to.
Yeah. No, they've been huge and definitely have them at a higher position in the standings. It's crazy. Like, they still have they've got a chance to finish second in the conference here with a good run of play.
I was looking at Woll's March last year, and remember it slipped. Like, I forgot. I mean, it was not pretty last year in March either. Like, I'm going through the goals against per game here. A lot of 4s, a lot of 3s, a couple 5s mixed in there. Like, he really did kind of, And I think it was when he came back from injury, right? He had hurt his ankle and he came back towards the end. So maybe that was part of the reason that he was cold. And then they started Samsonov to actually start the playoffs. But I do think you have to worry about a guy that's played 13 games above his career high.
He was at 884 in March last year.
Yeah. I remember that not being great. So is that not a factor here? That he's playing way more than he ever has?
I don't know.
How can it not be?
That's part of the little thing in the back of your head that goes
It's not
on.
a new conversation.
No, we've been talking about this all year.
Yeah.
Off-season, training camp, this was the conversation. So I think it's legit, and I do believe that people have the right to ask the question right now. Is he in a place now that should make Leaf fans nervous?
It's funny, looking back at last season, and he enters the playoffs, and his 3 games played in the playoffs, he was wonderful.
Brilliant.
Stopped all 5 in replacement, and then won a game with a 964 and won a game with a 957.
Mm-hmm.
He was they won 2-1, 2-1 when he played last year in playoffs. So I do believe that he's a guy that if he turns that focus back to it, that it's there for him. So, but it's on the list of things that you go, okay, keep an eye on that.
You don't want this stat from Luke Fox that he allowed 9 goals in his past 2 starts against the 31st and 32nd ranked offenses in the NHL. That's not what you want heading towards playoffs, but I do have confidence he can figure it out.
One surprise, I'll say that's a positive. I mentioned Scott Laughton was pretty good. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. He led the Leafs in ice time last night. He played almost 25 minutes. That's, I don't want to say it's a trend, but they have McCabe and Riley and Tanev, and they're using OEL more than anyone else with some relative frequency. And I know you said before that Florida won the cup with him as a 5. He's a 5 right now for them, but when he looks like last night, it's hard to not put him on the ice over some guys who look not as good.
Yeah, I think I'm really concerned about the blue line.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm with you. He was pretty good, and it just seems like there's pretty good Jake McCabe for 2 or 3 games, and then it maybe shifts over to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and Benoit's hot and cold, and then there's Morgan, right? Then there's Morgan who's fighting it and had that disallowed goal against Philadelphia, and you see his arms go up. I think it was for the 7th goal, maybe. Or it's like that guy wants it really badly. He needs one really badly right now.
Yeah, I don't think he scored.
They just overall together, though, a cohesive group. They are not right now, and it's a good sign. Yeah, you're right. Oliver Ekman-Larsson needs to be really good for them down the stretch here. But how good? A 3.
But the reason they are using him so much is because Morgan, who we've talked about, has not been very good. And that, if you want to go to my Twitter page at JT Bourne, I tweeted a bunch of D stats today. One of them for Morgan Riley is his percentile rank in skating speed over the past 4 years. And, he's an excellent skater, but his speed bursts over 20 miles per hour. You want to be at the high of the percentiles. Being in the 99th percentile is very, very good. 4 years ago, 97th percentile, elite.
Wow.
Then 94, next year 96. This year he's 86.
Wow.
It's a pretty big jump down. And
it's still good, but not if you're...
And top skating speed last few years, 88, 90, 85. This year, 80.
Wow.
So he's slowed down this year. And that's physical. That's that is an actual, that's not an observation. That's what's happening.
Well, I said it a month ago. What do you want out of Morgan? Play faster.
Yeah.
He
looks heavy.
You think he's out of shape? You think he's carrying too much weight?
I mean, I wouldn't want to speculate on that, but he's not skating as fast. So unless he's just gotten older.
Yeah, I mean, how old is he now?
But I do think of guys got lighter, when they want, LeBron James was a big, heavy guy. As he's gotten older, in the last 7-8 years, he got really lean, so he can kind of keep moving and keep staying light on his feet. Maybe that's the next step for Riley is, hey, we need you to be 5 lighter. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
We were positive on the power play. You want to listen to Craig Berube on it?
Sure.
it's been better and better as it's gone along here. Hasn't gone in. Tonight it did, which is encouraging. Power play was good again. I didn't like the shorthanded goal. We have guys back. That shouldn't happen. It's just another mistake that led to the loss in the hockey game, in my opinion.
I am really encouraged with the power play, and I'm really hoping that next year it can get hot in April instead of March.
The one thing I really like about it is attacking, and I think Nylander is all around the zone when he has it, and he's looking for a way in, and Marner, too, a couple times got the puck and went, they're kind of threatening in downhill at it rather than just standing around passing it out above the, they're looking for a way in.
Yeah.
It's flipped. Like it's a real threat.
It's dangerous.
It is, and you got to pull whatever positive you can, but Craig Simpson, who we love on the show, anytime we can get him on, talked about how a hot power play could win you a series.
Yes,
right now, even that hot power play cannot win them a series unless they start cleaning up some other things. And you're just not going to get the opportunities on a power play in the playoffs. There's one or two.
They had 25 in the first round. First round last year, Kyper. They had a ton of chances.
In 7 games.
Yes. That's a lot. Is that not a lot? Over
3.5 per game?
That's a lot of chances. To go one. If they score 2 different times on that power play, they win that series potentially.
I just don't want anybody to depend on a power play being the difference maker in a series. You have to. Your first priority is 5-on-5 play, guys.
Yeah,
of course. Of course.
It won't matter. It won't matter. They are so bad right now, even strength, that I don't believe then even a 30% power play could be the difference for them.
Yeah.
And it should be like a cherry on top of power play. And it's great that it's going well right now. And did it save them a point?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So good on it. But
I have another addition to what we've learned. You know how people have been talking about Riley's plus minus, and I was like, yeah, but all the empty netters against. And you watch Mitch Marner last night, 58 seconds left, finds a way through. Tavares gets a tip on it, and then then they need one more, and Morgan's on the point, and Morgan's got the puck, and it just sticks to his tape for a quarter second longer than I needed to, and I don't think he's going to be a part or should be a part of the 6-man unit. It hasn't worked with him on it. Mitch's got to be the quarterback. You want to put another forward out there and just go 6? Fine. I think you're better off adding McMahon than you are having Riley back there with Mitch. Even if you have Willie come up high and give Marner a flat outlet. He doesn't make quick enough decisions for me.
The play that they make to tie it is just so brilliant.
Oh, I mean, the pass from Marner, the shot by Matthews.
Even the Matthews shot and then immediate follow
Jumps.
the rebound, dig it out right to Marner, pass, bing, bam. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
In my living room, what am I cheering for? Like, they just tied the worst team in the league.
But
what am I
2 in the morning.
What am I doing here?
It's just baffling that you can have this sense of urgency and you can move the puck that well when in that stressful moment.
But this has always been them.
You can't find a way to make 3 passes between the first minute and 55 minutes.
Not 3. I don't know if they made 3 good passes for 59 minutes.
Kyper, this is
why can
they were the Red Army.
Why can they pass the puck so well? Why can they pass the puck so well in those moments, but during the game, you don't see it? It's mind-boggling.
It is one of the defining characteristics of this era.
And I'm watching the game. They didn't even come close to passing the puck as well as San Jose last night. Those 2 kids between Celebrini and
Smith and Eklund are all pretty damn
They
good.
outplayed Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Nylander for 55 minutes.
Celebrini's so good.
They
love
schooled them.
Yeah. And Toffoli is so funny to me. He's like, I love Simmer, but Simmer's like, it's a really frustrating year for Toffoli. Like, you're not winning a lot. Like, well, he's got 2 cups and he's playing in San Jose.
Making 4.
Yeah, it's like, I guess he's okay. I don't think he would expect to win the cup there, but he's really good, Toffoli, too. As like a support guy, like, can always shoot it in the net.
Killing me last night going like, that's the type of guy they needed to get. And I'm like, I know.
No, he would be perfect. Perfect.
Just a guy that
Sniper.
Another guy
really,
can catch and shoot it in.
really alleviates some of that off of
Buddy, Scott
four
Laught's gonna
guys.
Get red hot.
Not a goal scorer, buddy. Not a goal scorer.
It was telling to me the reaction. Like, they seem to genuinely love him already, the Scott Laughton.
Yeah.
And Tanev, after he scores that goal, Tanev does like a double fist pump, like grabs him, like so
come
excited.
on.
Well, that's nice. It's nice they care.
Well,
Camaraderie.
they're not like the media where they go, he's a flop,
Wow,
right? You're not bailing on your a teammate.
But they just seem to like him as all.
Yes, for sure. They'd like anybody that is supposed to come in and help them win. Right?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, you want to do some calls?
Okay.
I love that player.
Take a
I
quick
love the
break.
guy.
And when we return, Sammy, our brilliant producer,
Not very.
what do you got for us, Sammy?
We have 13 calls.
13.
Yeah.
What do we call this, Sammy?
Leafs line.
Just leaf line. No Sammy McKee leaf line or anything? You don't want to throw your name on something else?
Oh, my God. Well, they don't put my name on the show, so I gotta do it somehow.
All right. Sammy's calls when we return to the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. This hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365. Top of the hour, we'll welcome in Doug MacLean. What are you looking at me? You good?
Don't look at him.
Am I on? Oh, there we go.
I don't know. Sometimes he looks at me
I
like
know what
I've
you
got
mean.
a third eye on my forehead.
I know. It's the what? What do you
And
want?
I'm like, what? Where did I screw up?
It's the producers.
It is.
I am
All
the
right.
producer after all.
Yeah, you are.
Somehow.
So produce.
Okay. Who do you want to start with here? Let's go to caller number 6, Steve from the Hammer.
The new segment you guys introduced recently, Laughton Talk, where you guys talk about Scott Laughton for 20 minutes a day. every day. I also love your other daily segment, Jets Talk, where you guys talk about the Winnipeg Jets for 20 seconds every day. Now, I totally agree with Kyper that we shouldn't be overly critical of 16, 17, 18-year-old prospects. They're kids. And for the most part, we should probably just leave them alone. But on the flip side of that, I totally agree with Bourne that once those kids are in the NHL, they're fair game. NHL players that are making millions of dollars don't need to be protected from unfair criticism. So my question is actually about your third funny little segment that's not really a segment. Kremlin talk. I'm not really okay with Donald Trump or Vladimir Putin thinking that they're going to use NHL players in their little Cold War on Ice fantasy camp exhibition series. But I got no problem with them using AHL players. So my question is, who do you guys think would win in a 7-game series between the best team in the AHL and the best team in the KHL? And guys, please don't all three of you die of a heart attack at the same time, because that would be really sad. And they'd probably give your time slot to Blair and Barker, and nobody wants that. So keep up the great work, guys, and stay healthy.
That's a great call. And happy birthday to Jeff Blair, that reminds me.
Steve's got a little bit of that stand-up thing going right now.
That's,
yeah,
that's
good
some
call.
good stuff in there. A lot of
Wow.
good stuff.
Impressed.
I will say, people have talked to me like, hey, my buddy's like, I'm going to call in. And then they're like, oh, I was too nervous. And it's like, that guy just came in ready, prepped, good takes. He was ready to rock. So anyways.
Have
it
you
was
ever
fun.
left anybody a messaging like, I sounded like an idiot?
Yes.
Yeah,
And then
most
it's like-
of the time.
Like
Press 7 or 9 and you're like, oh, I pressed the wrong button and it's gone.
my whole life. Yes.
Yeah.
So who wins in a series? Who's the best team in the AHL? Is it the Marlies? I don't think so.
I go KHL.
The best team in the KHL, definitely KHL. But like Josh Levo just scored a goal a game.
Mm-hmm.
And, he'd probably be a leading scorer in the American League too. They're probably not that far off. Very different, much younger in the American League.
Have you ever watched a full KHL game in like
No.
10 years?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
I have watched
So, but the
intermittent chunks.
The feeling is that the KHL is kind of regarded the second best league in the world.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
So we're going to give it to the K.
Okay, there you go.
Steve from the Hammer, thank you for a great call.
Let's go to Phil from Oakville.
Hey, Sammy. Hey, guys. I listen to you guys all the time in the car because I'm going here and there for my job. Look, I really thought of something that's important. Fans have witnessed great players fight in the midst of organizational incompetence. Sittler, Wendell, those eras, Sundin never having a proper winger. There's probably 3 or 4 others. Now we have stability, organizational stability, and even better talent. No wonder why the fan base, especially older ones, can't tolerate indifferent play. Thanks for listening to my soapbox. Longtime Leaf fan, but man, is it tough.
Amen, brother.
That's a great way to put it. So they've had great players who've worked their hearts out.
Yeah.
But it's been poorly run.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's well run.
Mm-hmm.
And the players are questioned.
He said stability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
10 years of Brendan.
I'm just like, buddy, losing in the first round, there's no stability.
I would argue stability could be part of the problem.
Right? Like,
it's stable.
It's stable, but there will be changes if they don't get out of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're talking about Matthews and Nylander and obviously Marner with his pending UFA, but who's coming in? To what degree? Who's in charge? How many people are leaving? How many new ones are coming in? What's it going to look like? This is fork in the road time for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. It's funny seeing Colorado move off Mikko Rantanen and look, everyone consensus like one of the best 3 teams in the NHL post Rantanen trade.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to see that and then be like, you can't trade Nylander. You could never trade a guy that good. And it's like, you can.
And
it's one of the options.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you do it. I'm just saying these are
I know.
It's all doable.
But
that goes for Matthews too. It's all an option.
the final verdict is still there to figure out whether or not Colorado ultimately made the right move or not.
True.
And
when Rantanen shoots 6 in the first round against the Colorado Avalanche.
Maybe.
Blows the province of Alberta up after.
Or he never regains his touch and they're out in the first round, Dallas.
Scary.
So that's part of making big decisions, big bucks out of Colorado for Sakic and McFarland.
God, it's so much easier to
Right?
take a risk when you got a cup in your back pocket.
It is.
Leafs will be there. I mean, I appreciate Phil talking about stability, but like there's going to be major changes here if we don't see a team in the final 8, final 4. I don't know. You tell me.
Let's go to Jordan from Parts Unknown.
Boys, it is got to be said, and you pressed my hand to do this with all the heavy-handed Scott Laughton talk and just how tough it is to play in the city of Toronto and the fish bubble or fish bowl, whatever. But it has got to be said, guys. There are 18, 19-year-olds playing college football right now in the states of Mississippi and Alabama that have more pressure and more eyeballs on them to perform and to win than anyone on the Toronto Maple Leafs has literally ever had ever and will most likely ever have ever. So I promise you, I promise the city of Toronto that the reason that the Leafs have not won since 1967 is not because the pressure is too much. It's because the teams just haven't been good enough. You haven't put a team together that's been good enough to win the Stanley Cup since 1967. It's not because, oh my gosh, it's just so hard to win here in Toronto. It's ridiculous. I'm so tired of hearing it. Kipper's got to calm down on it. There's not been enough shredding on this line. There needs to be more shredding. I'm here to shred.
What would you know about
I like that call.
Yeah. Thank you to Scott Walken,
Yeah.
Christopher Walken's son,
Yeah.
apparently, with that dynamic. That was great.
Jordan from Parts Unknown. Good job, buddy.
I got a few things to say about that, but you want to go first?
I'll just say that just because there's pressure and even more pressure other places doesn't void the pressure that people have here, and that it does affect performance. So it is an element that goes into it.
You know, he did make a very valid point that when push came to shove over the last, what are we at, 58 years? Since 1967? I don't know.
Sounds
But,
right.
That math.
You could look at each roster and say, this is where they fell short. This is what was missing. This is what didn't get it done. It wasn't because the guys cracked under pressure, but
This era is.
no.
Feels like the temperature is greatly affected.
The blue line was never good the last 10 years except for this year. This year's the best blue line for depth-wise. Is it missing a true number one offensive type of threat out there? Yes, but it's a lot better than we've seen in the past.
So I think if you want to talk about the blue line, a big reason why is because they paid all the money to all those forwards and they weren't able to do and get one of those top D-men. So I think this.
But I think to take his point and be like, is Scott Laughton feeling the pressure, or is Scott Laughton not that awesome?
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Great goal last night for our boy Lots.
Did love Lots.
What a lot.
Buddy, he had one bounce over a stick at the net. He was, getting it to the hoop. He made some plays.
We call that the Lawton hat trick. A goal and one bounces over his stick.
I'm not really sure I buy into his 4 years of college having the same feeling as a guy making $11 million in this town.
Well, they
over
make that now in the States.
8 years, 9 years.
Yeah.
The problem is it's not year to year. It's when it builds to like 7 or 8 or 9 years, and where Mitch Marner is right now with a fork in the road. His contract's up. What do I want to do here? There's so many things going through his mind besides how much money he's going to make this year, which includes where's this team heading and can I win here? And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
we know the yada yada.
It's not crazy. He's right. You can win here.
Yeah.
I assure you, you can win here. It takes a special group. It's not for everybody. Playing in Toronto is not for everybody. There is guys that can handle it, welcome it, no problem. There's a Tyson Barrie who says, "Get me the heck out of here."
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly, who's an Ontario guy, comes and lives it.
I would have loved it till I was like 28, but those older guys, I'd be the same way. I'd be like, I'm not doing this.
And
every
Ryan
day anymore.
O'Reilly's
I got a
like,
kid.
Send me to Florida, please.
Thanks, but no thanks.
I'd rather go stink out loud with the Predators.
Yeah, and have nobody ever comment on it.
Guys get followed home here, right? It's different here.
Can I? But you look around the teams that have won other championships. So if you look at the other, you don't think there's any pressure in Philadelphia on the Eagles? Like, you think they care about the Eagles there? You think the media talks about the Eagles a bit in Philadelphia?
Yeah, you can win with pressure if that's the
Celtics
point.
just won the championship in Boston. You don't think they put pressure on the Boston Celtics? It's like
go miss a field goal
Yeah,
to get yourself to a Super Bowl, and tell me that guy's not having a for sale sign up.
Anyways,
right?
Good conversation.
Everybody feels it.
Let's go. This is a longer one, so we'll avoid that one for today. We'll save that one for a little bit later. Let's go.
It's never getting played.
I know, but he's been on before, so we'll save it. Let's go to Nice Lady from Parts Unknown.
Oh boy.
Hi, good afternoon, Sammy. Thanks for taking my call. We are a couple 79 and 75 years young. We reside in Bell River, Ontario, home of Max Domi and Aaron Ekblad. We've been Leaf fans our whole lives. We were on our honeymoon in Niagara Falls in 1967 when they won the last cup.
Oh my God.
So just wanted to ask you if you think we have another chance to see another cup in our lifetime. We keep cheering every year. Go Leafs, go.
Love it.
We're waiting. Just wanted to see what you think. Well, have a great day. I could always tell it's 4 o'clock because it's coffee time and Kyper and Bourne in our Toronto Maple Leafs heated garage.
Oh, my gosh.
Waiting. Have a great day. Thank you.
You guys are the best.
Nice.
Love that stuff. Thank you so
Lady
much.
from Bell River.
From Bell River. I wish she'd say her name, but whatever your name is, lovely woman. Like, if these guys don't get it done, I'm worried about my lifetime. So let's just say that.
I got an article right now on Sportsnet.ca, and it is on the groups that I believe can win a cup this year. It's 11 teams, which is so many teams compared to most years.
Mm-hmm.
And basically my point was whoever is healthy at the right time. Say the Leafs win the division.
Mm-hmm.
Pacioretty comes back. Matthews is feeling great and looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they get Hakanpää back. There's no reason they're not a part of the group of teams who could win a cup this year.
They can be in the conversation for sure.
It could happen.
Miracles happen. It could happen.
It could happen.
If it doesn't happen this
I got
year,
him at 9% chance.
and by chance, I need to come back and be president and you general manager and Sammy rink host.
Oh, my God. There is no job that I am less suited for than a rink host. I would be the worst rink host. Let's go. I hate these guys. Let's go.
I've got you rink host.
I can't stand watching this.
Hey, just to balance it out.
Okay, fair.
All right.
Let's go to John Doe from Parts Unknown. 10.
Hey, Kyper, I'm going to talk to you. Barney, I just want to let you know I just bought an Airbnb because I've heard it so many times. Listen, why don't we just sneak in there, grab Blaine and what's their name, Barker? Get them out of the thing, Kyper. Use those mitts of yours. Grab them and throw them out. Send them to Rogers. Nobody wants to listen to them talk about Vladdy standing on first base for $30 million. Oh, and Sammy, he's not doing a talk that night because the Jays are on. Him and Bunky are going to sit in the stands and they're gonna box score the whole thing. Let's get to the hockey playoffs where the real sports are played, please.
Shoresy's uncle
Thank you,
here.
Kyper. Get some things done over there, Kyper.
I'm
Show
working
him
on
who's
it.
boss. It's got to be you.
Buddy.
We need you, Kyper.
Really appreciate it.
Sammy, no more baseball.
Oh, it's the same guy. I love that guy.
Are you a ball guy who does the box scores?
Buddy, I can't hold a beer in box.
I
score.
can't
Like, are you nuts?
think of anything
Dork
like.
here. Sorry if you're a listener and you do that. You're the biggest dork on earth. Like, I'm wearing glasses today, so I look like
I
a
have
dork, but there's no
massive
dork.
appreciation for like having some weird I don't know, esoteric hobby that you do and love
it's
and whatever it's your
I'm
thing.
sure it's so satisfying to
Yeah.
score it properly.
I can dig that, but it does seem like an awful lot.
Taking it to the game, you got to bring a pen and if Kyper was going, he'd have to be like, "Oh, I don't have a pen."
Steve Bartman with the headset
No,
on.
he's like, "Where can I get a pen?"
Oh,
Listen,
I'm still in the guy's pen next door.
Okay, I've got a story for you. The pen that he is holding right now, Mark Boffo brought around a card for everybody to sign for Jeff players.
And I still have it.
And Kyper, I was like, "Sign this card." And then I walked away. He comes back and signed. He picks up this phone. "Oh, I can't believe Torts last night." Picks up the pen. He's gone. I'm like, "No, the pen. It's gone."
Hey, listen,
I'm the worst
I
with pens.
told my wife in November, I was like, could you add 50 Bic pens to your next Amazon order? She's like, what for? I was like, for Kyper. And the other day, I looked at my desk, there's 7 left.
So for 20 years at Sportsnet, I'd start every meeting, pen me.
Pen me.
Pen me.
1 per day. Fresh
I don't
pen.
care who it is in the room.
Put it in the budget.
Pen me.
Okay, apparently somebody just texted in and said, "Sammy, the lady from Bell River is Edith."
Edith. We love it.
Edith.
No idea. Wayne from St. Thomas texted me that.
Who says Doug
Okay.
MacLean's the star on Off the Rails Friday? It's Edith.
I don't even know. And then Jen just said she made it up. So I'm lost. It's Friday. Let's go to break. Good Lord.
We're only halfway through.
So tired.
If we didn't pick up the energy, our next guest will, Doug MacLean. And he wants a little bit of Tortorella. Let's get her going on the National Hour as we call it Off the Rails Friday. It's the National Hour on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, Sportsnet 960 in Calgary. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. In a couple of minutes, Doug MacLean, former NHL president, GM, and head coach, will join us. Also, text 590-590.
Yes, sir. For the
yes, let's do some text.
Do our job for the last segment of the week.
590-590.
Nice stuff. Last night, with the exception of the Ottawa Senators, Canadian teams failing to pick up max 2 points, including Calgary against Dallas, 2, not 1, 2 disallowed goals. The one that got everybody was the goaltender interference.
Yeah.
Seems to be a hot topic again. It was cool for a little while. It just didn't seem to be that big of an issue. We got through 4 nations without one controversy.
You know, it's like a psychological effect when you like prime people to pay attention to something. They notice every single version of it. So I just think
it's like when you drive. I drive a RAV4 and all I see on the roads is RAV4.
Right.
It's
like
just it's all you look for.
So I don't know that it's any worse than it's ever been or any different, but people are just upset.
Did you like the call?
It's another 50-50 one for me. Yes, I see it. I understand why it was called. You hated it?
I think it looks. I don't like the look of it in a very fast physical game.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see something so ticky-tacky cost someone a playoff series or a Stanley Cup. But I understand it too. Yeah. I understand it too. You're in the blue paint, buddy. You run the risk here.
Gotta stay clear. I'm curious to see what our next guest thinks, Jeff.
Okay, let's welcome him in, Doug MacLean. I said right from the get-go, very honest about this show. Our energy is going to be down. We need a picker-upper. Clearly, you were working out based on the T-shirt that you're wearing. Let's welcome in Doug MacLean.
I have to try to move the set a little bit because Jill doesn't like me showing the pillows when I'm on TV.
In other words,
okay.
She means your biceps.
Oh yeah, okay. Just a minute. Let me talk about this T-shirt. I go up to a little dinner party the other night, and the older lady says, "Geez, you got your scrubby T-shirt on." I said, "I bought this in Italy. I bought this in Florence, Italy, in the most expensive district in Florence. This is worth more than Nick Kypreos' sport coat." So I thought I'd wear it today to style things up a little bit.
Well,
but anyway,
we're going to need you to style up this show for sure on a Friday.
A good friend of, the tariffs are a big topic. And Clark McLean, my son, said, "Doug, you got to, when you mention tariffs and Trump, Kypreos starts to sweat like I'm going to get exiled." And he said, "I love when you make Kyper sweat." But I was thinking, a comedian mentioned it, and Sandra Hickey, who's visiting us from PEI, brought it up to me today. Carney or Polyev, whoever is prime minister, they have got this is the only way the Leafs can win the cup. Polyev or Carney have got to put an unbelievable high tariff on the Stanley Cup. We own it. We own it. Don't let it go to the U.S.
Yeah.
And give it to the Leafs. We got it. So tariffs will, all of a sudden, Canadians will love tariffs.
They'll win it by decree.
Exactly.
I love it.
All right,
I'm a little disappointed in the commentary on the T-shirt, though. I thought it was your style.
Yeah, listen, it's.
Is it stretchy? It looks comfy.
No, it's probably our television screen. It's coming in a little blurry.
Well, tell Jen. I mean, come on, she's got to square me up a little bit.
Oh, you're coming off square just fine. From tariffs to Tortorella. How's that for a segment? Mac, seldom do you ever see, whether it's an experienced head coach or one that is a rookie or just early in his career, on a non-contending team, non-playoff team, get fired with 10 games to go. Like, what was your first thought when you heard that he was fired from the Philadelphia Flyers at this point of the season?
Could there be Yeah, this point of the season, but I sensed it was starting to happen this year. A post-game commentary from coaches is really important when it comes to coaching your hockey team. And when I listened to his comments about the NHL's a dumb league, and we got to, and I'm thinking, why do we need this? Anyway, I look, the guy's a good coach. He's had a great career, full marks for that. But nobody can tell me this hasn't been brewing for months. Nobody can tell me this was the one comment the other night, which he deserved to be fired for, in my opinion, especially with a young team that's in a rebuilding process and a new management team. Nobody ever, I didn't think he would survive. I thought it was the perfect way to get him out of there and start fresh with the guy I mentioned 3 months ago on this show should be the coach, and that's Tocchet. So then I heard it's going to be Tocchet or Quenneville. So it'll be real interesting to see who gets the job. We got to keep tabs on whether I'm ever right or not on this show. We've got to keep tabs.
What's your first thoughts on Joel Quenneville?
I think Philly is at a stage now where they've got to bring in, obviously a different voice. I think I would probably lean more to Tocchet than Quenneville, to be quite honest. Quenneville's with the Stanley Cups. I get all that. But with a young group, I would prefer a Tocchet-style coach. I'd prefer Quenneville with a more experienced coach, but Tocchet for a younger team. And I think he's a perfect fit in Philly. I mean, if he doesn't get this job, there's something wrong. There's something wrong if he doesn't get this job.
Mac, one of the names that comes up in other places is David Carl, young guy in Denver. What are your thoughts on what the developmental curve for a coach is like, a first-time coach in the NHL?
Well, look, Carberry's been the star of the year, coach of the year for fun with what the job he's done. I like the fact that he spent some time in the minors, American League, a head coach or assistant coach in the NHL. You can't ever estimate how a guy like Carl is going to do. He's had a great record. Brian Murray talked to me about him years ago, said he was a really sharp young guy when he was, I believe he was like a third assistant with the Sens years ago. He's done a great job in college. If it's the same guy. But anyway, I think he's going to be right there, and there's going to be some real interesting coach hires. Carberry is a new flavor of the month. So what does that do to who they hire, who the people hire this year, So we'll see. And the Stanley Cup always dictates a little bit of that as well. But there's going to be some coaching changes. There's no denying that this year.
One of the questions,
there is every year.
Mac, one of the questions last night from David Amber to Justin and I on our show was, will he coach again? What's that? What are you interrupting me?
You guys were on TV?
Yeah, we did the 1 a.m. Shift, San Jose and the Leafs.
What? I heard you guys were going to be on, and I fell asleep. I was so I woke up in a sweat. And Jill said, "What's wrong? What do you?" And I said, "I missed Kyper and Bourne on the 1 a.m. show." But anyway, how did you do?
It doesn't matter.
Were awesome.
It was a terrific game.
We were a lot better.
Was absolutely terrific.
A lot better.
You guys are better than the Leafs.
Before I was rudely interrupted, David Amber asked us if Tortorella would coach again. Is this a guy that just has burnt out here? Because you mentioned Carberry and a few others, and there seems to be a next generation. Will there be an owner that will let this guy kind of rest for about 6 months to a year? And then when we hear a team in trouble or too soft or they got to get someone in there to rattle the cages, are we going to see Tortorella surface again?
You can never say never, because I've thought that of him at least 3 times, that he wouldn't surface again. And he does. And then he goes out in a flame, the same as he left Columbus. Him and Kekalainen were at it at the end. And, he's been fighting with everybody in Philly for the last couple of months, and it's intensified more recent. But this has been going on for a long time. This isn't because of Cam York. Let's not kid ourselves. Somebody said that was the end of the straw. I said, give me a break. This has been going on. I mean, when it started with the Russian kid, by the way, scored 2 goals last night in the game.
Mishkov.
Mishkov. I think that, I would never say never. I mean, look, the guy's had a great track record. There's no denying that. He deserves a lot of credit. I just don't understand why he has to flame out all the time like this and just to go out in a blaze of glory. But that's him. That's been his history.
Okay,
it's worked for him.
We'll get off the Philadelphia Flyer subject, but one more for me. And you just mentioned Cam York. So a possible situation with the loss in Toronto the other night where him and Tortorella maybe have exchanged some words. But the decision that Tortorella's gone, Shaw's behind the bench, they dress Cam York, they don't give him one shift, and then they mention discipline. Okay, am I missing something? Why dress him? Why not discipline him with a healthy scratch? Why do you want to bring a guy into a room when you're mad at him?
Somebody told me they didn't have any choice, that they didn't have enough bodies, but I would go with one less. I'd go with one less. It's not like you have to win. Go with one less body. I mean, who cares?
I found that strange.
At this point. I did too. And it was 2 games in a row that he didn't play. Didn't get a shift.
Yeah.
I mean, enough of, what are you trying to prove there? I don't get it. You've already had the battle. You've already had the talk, GM to York, coach to York, coach is fired, and you come back and you bench him again. It almost is making it like it's his fault. And I can't imagine it's York's fault that Torts got fired. So I couldn't figure it out,
So, Doug, we'll look around the league a little bit. The Edmonton Oilers, tough night last night. They've been without Leon and Connor and kind of scuffling a little bit. Where are you with these Canadian teams? Do you feel like the Oilers are a top cup contender still?
Well, look, I was saying today, Doug Armstrong should go to jail for what he's done.
Holloway's almost got 30.
Sunburn or not, he should go to jail. I mean, for what he did to the Oilers this summer with Holloway and Broberg and the way they're playing. Holloway gets his 25th and 26th. Broberg gets 4 assists the other night. It's a horse on the back end. Holloway's been really good, and they've won 7 in a row. And I'm telling you, if and this is talking about the Oilers, letting those 2 guys walk, I'm sorry. You, first of all, you can't get yourself in that situation. And secondly, you got to figure it out when it happens. You can't let 2 young guys like that go. They're too hard to find. And now I'm telling you this, guys, and I said it last week about LA, if they play, Edmonton in the first round, if St. Louis end up with Winnipeg in the first round, with the way these guys are playing, and Kyrou and Thomas, Shen has picked his game up since the trade deadline. Binnington is unbelievable. He's on fire since the 4 Nations. That would make me nervous playing St. Louis in the first round. So you asked me about the Canadian teams. I diverted a little bit, which I have a tendency to do, but you can get me back on track. I talked to you about Toronto. The only way they can win the cup is the tariffs by the Prime Minister. And who else? Montreal. I met him. Last time I was in the airport, I met this guy in the line. He said, "Oh, I know you're the hockey guy." And I said, "Well, I'm not a hockey guy. I do Kypreos' show and Bourne show every Friday." And he said, "You got to tell me, Montreal, when are they going to win the cup?" And him and his wife are in the line. Nice little couple, nice little old couple, like Edith in the garage. And I said, "Hey, buddy, how old are you?" And he said, I'm 78. I said, "You have no chance of seeing Montreal win a Stanley Cup. I'm sorry." So there.
Truth hurts.
Barney, do you need more of an analysis on the Canadian team? What do you want me to go do next?
That's pretty thorough. Was it general enough? Yeah, tell me what you think of 1/3 of the league.
I'm going to tell you, I want to talk a little bit Ottawa and Toronto. So you got a series that potentially could be heavy and hard and light and skilled. Heavy and hard Ottawa, light and skilled Toronto. And watching them last night, I like some things that are going on. I think I watched them change their lines partway through the game and go with Tkachuk, Pinto, Gregg. Pinto, Gregg have been their 2 best players for the last 3 weeks. And they put Tkachuk with them and they blow it up. Giroux, Stützle, Setterlund, real good second line. We talked about the third line last week. Perron, Cousins, Batherson. How does that shape up against Toronto's third line?
Pretty good.
Perron, Cousins, Batherson. 25 points in the last 10 games that line's got. I really like the setup. But let me tell you about this name. Mantapola on defense. Played for Finland in the Four Nations.
Yep.
They brought him because of injuries from Belleville, from the Belleville Senators. And last night he plays with Clevin, and recently he's 6'4". Clevin, Manapolo's 6'4", and that's their fourth pair. That's not going to be an easy
This guy's
line
solid
to play against.
He's
You talking about Mac? That is.
solid.
This guy is giving solid analysis here.
Matt and Paulo. This kid is like 6'4". He's 26, and he kind of looks a little like Nicholas Haig.
Oh boy!
And you go Sanderson, Zub, Shabbat Jensen, and this is, all of a sudden you've got four solid lines. Even the Highmore Goodette Amodio line is a energy fourth line. So I'm telling you, I hope they play against each other. I'd hate to try to pick a winner, but right now you've got to say that heavy and hard might beat the light and skilled.
Oof.
I saw a really light group last night in San Jose. Very light group.
Helium-filled group.
And Allmark is getting his game going. Wall looks small to me in the net all of a sudden. He looked 5'9" last night. He looks small in the net, and Stolarz is going to have to start the playoffs. And I hope, and look, he's capable. We know what he's capable of if he gets on a run. So
hold on. 10 games is a lot that can change a few things.
Nick, don't screw up my analysis. I prepared all day for this.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Your turn. I've rambled on enough.
I don't know. Where do you want to go? Sid, you want to go OV?
I want to go the best team in the NHL today.
Uh-oh.
Colorado Avalanche.
You're jumping on that bandwagon.
I'm jumping on that bandwagon, and my question is, can their goaltending get it done for them? He's played pretty well. It was a great pickup by CMAC. And, we'll see if he can get it done. But down the middle, when you have what they have, McKinnon, Nelson, and Coyle, 1, 2, 3, to me, that is right there with the best center ice. So they go against Dallas in the first round. Heiskanen's not going to be back till the second round in all likelihood. We know that your guy Sagan's probably out, or he's skating and
he'll be ready. He'll be ready for the playoffs.
It's going to be an unbelievable series, but I think Colorado right now is the best team in the NHL. And I'll tell you, guys, I watched LA again the other night. They are playing really good hockey, really good hockey. And the Oilers, it's not fair to evaluate the Oilers because with Draisaitl and McDavid out, it's not fair,
We are going to see a Brad Marchand sighting for the Florida Panthers tonight against Utah. Mm-hmm. What does that do for you?
Well, look, it's a big question mark because can Brad get back healthy enough to be Brad Marchand, to play with Bennett, and who's the kid he's playing with? For the life of me, I couldn't pronounce his name. What is it?
Samoskevich?
I can only imagine Brad trying to tell people who he's playing with. Bennett and some other guy. I don't know who the hell he is. But anyway, Tkachuk is the big question mark. Ekblad, Ekblad, people can criticize him this year. He hasn't had a good year. I get all that. But the kid was a horse last year for them in the playoffs, and he's missing the last 20 games. Tkachuk's the big question mark. And Marchand, can he be back healthy enough to really help? Bobrovsky, we know, will be good. So they'll be tough again.
So Sid gets a point or two the other night and now has 20 seasons of a point per game or more. I know you got these East Coast guys that you love, Marchand, Sid, McKinnon. What do they mean to the East Coast? What is it about that community that ties them so strongly there?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's really simple. Sid, after every practice in Pittsburgh for his entire career, up until a few years ago, up until a recent 5 years or so, he used to race off the ice so we could watch Hockey Central at noon. because he thought it was the greatest real hockey show he's ever had a chance to watch.
Wow.
You're getting him and Pat Kane mixed up.
Years, I don't know what happened to the show in the last 5 years, but it's sort of dropped off a touch, I've noticed.
Justin was on that show after we left, right?
I know. I know.
Hey, hold on, Doug. I don't know if you remember this, but around 6 years ago, I did some sort of hit at the CBC building, and I saw Doug walking to the CBC building, and I stopped you on the street, and I said, I just want you to know I really enjoy your work. My name's, might know my dad. We talked for 30 seconds, and you were off to go do the show. And about 6 months later, I was working the show, and I had no idea.
But he told me that he knew he was going to replace you that moment.
He's the guy that knifed me, Kyper.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. He knew it.
I meet this kid on the street. I thought you were coming up to get an autograph.
I'm so sorry, Mac. I didn't know. I swear to God.
He didn't throw his gum at you, did you?
But you know what? Anyway, Sid is Sid. I told you my son went down to a morning skate because Sid was going to go on with a bunch of college and your guys were playing pro in Europe. 7 a.m. they go on for a skate. I go down and watch them, and I'm telling you, it was something to see. Mm-hmm. Number one, how he treated all the young guys that were major, junior, college, European guys, the way he treated them, and how hard he worked in an hour with these kids. This was at that time the greatest player in the world, and he was just. And my son got in the car. Clark was probably 20, 22 or so, and he said, "Dad, this guy is just unbelievable." Yeah. He walks in the room like he's one of us, and he treated them with respect. I mean, this guy, so it's not just that he liked Hockey Central at noon. I have tremendous respect for him, and I've watched him since he was 7 or 8 years of age in the Alan Andrews Hockey School in Charlottetown, and I'm telling you, he's a special guy.
As long as his level remains as good as we've seen him. Are we going to keep having conversations throughout the summer and all of next season on whether or not this guy should leave Pittsburgh or not?
I'll be. Tell me if I'm really crazy, but is Vegas not a place for Sid to end his career?
Vegas,
the way Kelly McCrimmon does things,
buddy.
Would you be shocked?
Him and Elvis lookalikes everywhere.
I just think it would be pretty cool,
All I want to know is if every player in the league has to shake Marc-Andre Fleury's hand for a year and a half at the end of his career, what are we going to have to do for Sid? What is that going away tour going to look like?
What is going on? Is this guy ever going to retire?
What a hug fest. And Ovi said to me, "Are you going to play another year or what? Do we have to do this again next year?"
Good goalie, but jeez.
I mean, one thing that really ticked me off about Ovi, and I just do not like it one bit. I was a general manager in Washington in Ovi's first game in the NHL, and he scored his first 2 goals against us. And he reminded me of that last week when he sent a jersey to Pascal Leclerc saying, "Thanks for giving me my first 2 goals." And it ruined my day seeing that,
That's awesome.
Anyway.
Scored a few. Okay, let's wrap up, Mac.
Hey, one thing.
What's that?
Instead of talking about Tortorella and
tariffs
and tariffs, why don't we talk about the job Jimmy Montgomery's done in St. Louis for 2 seconds? I think he's done a great job. And like I said, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round.
Very good. Okay, so I got no follow-up. You want to follow up on Montgomery? He's good. No, he's good. I get it.
When Jill walked into the bedroom here, she said, "Oh my God, you're all dressed up in your silk shirt. We must be going to someplace nice tonight." And I said, "The boys just ripped it."
No, I got nothing else on Montgomery aside from the fact that I think the roster that Armstrong gave him is worth noting here. To me, he's the best GM in the NHL. This guy that they didn't have to rebuild entirely, that they were able to get Holloway and Broberg, but also picking up Cam Fowler. They got 5 guys coming who are first-round picks.
That was sneaky good.
The Fowler pickup was awesome. So I think the GM deserves credit, too.
I hate to bring this up, but next time you have Doug Armstrong on, ask him what his first job was, part-time job in hockey. And
he's in Washington with us.
No.
Where was he?
No. He was, when Kyper was playing for me in Baltimore, Doug Armstrong was working in ticket sales for the Washington Capitals. Okay, ticket sales.
That's what I said.
And no, I haven't finished the story. And he used to come out to Baltimore and he asked me early in the season, can I come out to Baltimore and do the scoring chances in the press box for you? So Doug used to do the scoring chances and come down between periods and tell me the scoring chances.
Yeah.
Little did I know I'd be doing a friggin' radio show and he's a superstar in the NHL. You know?
That's it. That's it for sure. Okay, just give me your thoughts on the wild cards, just in terms of the East and the West. So Ottawa's getting in unless they borrow a Toronto Maple Leaf 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
And outside of that, Islanders, Columbus, who's sneaking in there if Montreal doesn't hold on here? Or does Montreal hold on?
Okay, it's a joke the way these teams have played. I mean, Montreal blowing a couple of games, Detroit blowing a few games. The Jackets have won 1-6. The Islanders can't win a game to save their life at home against average teams. And the Rangers are a disaster. I'm telling you this right now, after watching the Blue Jackets play their last game, I'm saying the Blue Jackets get in. I really do. I think if Merzlikins wakes up, he's the guy that can get them in. And I think when I saw them come back against the Islanders the other night, down 2-0, come back and win that game, I think that they're the team that has a chance to get in.
If the Cannon jersey gets here by playoffs, I'll agree with you. We'll do CBJ talk as soon as it gets here from John Woodell.
I have an update on that.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, well.
All right. Okay.
Calgary and Vancouver remain on the outside here.
Yeah. Vancouver's got to beat Columbus tonight in Columbus to give them a chance.
Right there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a season, and to be quite honest, I haven't focused on the West nearly as much as I really been watching Montreal more, trying to, I really wanted the Islanders, Montreal, Detroit. I mean, what is going on there? Like Stevie Y. I mean, he used to. Oh, anyway, never mind. I'm not going there. Anyway, I think it's crazy what's going on in Detroit for me, that this team can't put it together. They cannot for the life of them. Can they? But they're still there. They're all right there to get in.
Hey, listen,
that's the scary part.
It was about meaningful games. Everybody who's scared to say we got to make the playoffs says meaningful games. That's a new one right now.
Oh my God, that's talk more about than tariffs. I mean, it's unbelievable. Meaningful hockey in April. Well, are you kidding? It's meaningful hockey. It's meaningful hockey every night in the NHL. You know that? Because you miss the playoffs or get in by 1 or 2 points. You got to get to 95 points probably to get in the playoffs. It's meaningful all the time. I remember coaching, like, you lose a game and you'd be worried you're going to miss the playoffs. And this was in November. I mean, come on. It's meaningful the whole damn year. Yeah. It's a tough business.
Well, you're already dressed, so you can just turn your computer off and go on your date night with Jill.
Guys,
take her somewhere nice.
I'm not dressed.
Oh, God. Legs up on the screen. Come on, Mac.
I'm not dressed, guys. I'm not dressed. Okay, let's go. It was
family
fun. Thanks
show.
For having me. Guys,
all right.
I really appreciate it. Really
Mac, have a great weekend. Thanks so much for your time.
Enjoy your weekend.
And, Borny, thanks for the analysis there. I really appreciated that this week when you sent the analytics stuff to me. I really appreciate it.
No
you
worries.
guys are working together?
It was a treat just to talk to Doug without Kyper in the way, let me tell you guys. So it was a delight, Doug.
Hey, can you send him an autograph picture when you get a chance? Doug MacLean, everybody.
I used to carry them around in Toronto. You should ask for them. See you later.
Former NHL president, GM, head coach. Just ask him. All right. He did bring the energy up.
He was fantastic.
At one point, Kip was absolutely floored. He had to ask a follow-up question. He was like, he stopped?
That was ran out of questions for him. I just can't look at him without laughing.
So you mentioned Jim Montgomery and the job he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good coach. And you look at his records that he's had. He's got a .635 winning percentage with the St. Louis Blues since he's taken over there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, 30-16-6.
Well, I mean, great records everywhere he's been.
That's what I mean. In Boston in 23-24, he had a .665, 22-23, 8-23. In his full season with Dallas, he was .563, 67. Sorry, he's had really, really good records everywhere he's gone to coach. So
the last time we had them dead and buried, they won the Stanley Cup.
I got to tell you,
right?
If I'm a Jets talk. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm praying for Minnesota to go into that
rotten.
Like, you do not.
Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
But you do not want to see that Blues. That Blues team right now is a nightmare matchup.
Is Krill the Thrill skating?
That would make a huge difference, and that would change my tone on the Wild. So we need those top end guys.
Inching closer.
Game time?
Game time.
Right. It's game time presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Was looking tonight because Brad Marchand's debut is on Sportsnet tonight at 7 o'clock. I was looking on Bet365 to see if there was a number for him to score a goal, but I don't think they've posted it yet because I'm not sure it's not 100% sure that he's playing. I think he's playing, but it's not posted on here. Right. So I was just looking at that. But that game, the Florida Panthers are minus 270 favorites in that one, as you would imagine, against the Utah Hockey Club. It'd be really great if Ryan Smith's boys could do us a favor here in Toronto and just maybe beat the Florida Panthers and keep their...
Listen, love the Utes.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
They're just going to get routed.
It's a tough one. Especially with Brad Marchand in his first game. It's going to be a tough one.
Tampa just...
Oh, my God.
Annihilated them.
Oh, my God.
Good to see Bjorkstrand get hot. So they
great.
Some random depth scorer.
Great. Yeah. Love it. Speaking of in tough, Montreal in Carolina taking on the Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes are minus 360 favorites tonight against the Habs. Habs are plus 280 on the money line. Second half of back-to-back.
Plus 360
yes.
to beat a playoff team?
Yep.
That's nuts.
We could have a disagreement on it.
You like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for value, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely like
that. And later tonight on Sportsnet 360, the Vegas Golden Knights are in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks. And as you can imagine, the Vegas Golden Knights, big favorite, Sid's future team, according to Mac, minus 340 on the money line that for the Vegas Golden Knights playing the crappy Blackhawks. And that was game time, presented by Bet365. Visit the app for latest odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Max goofy that way where he just kind of throws stuff out there and then
Vegas.
Yeah, like where did that come from?
I mean, assuming somewhere. I don't know.
Well, that's always what it is though, where it's like I don't feel like that's just out of nowhere.
Like you always
Did you ever see Sid in Vegas?
No.
Colorado's the only one you can picture him. And Toronto,
can't even
of course.
picture him in that jersey though.
No.
I can see him in Montreal.
Yeah, that I can see. That makes sense.
But because it's his boyhood team or whatever. But when
East Coast.
But when you've played for 20 years in the NHL, you kind of lose that.
It's goofy though.
I don't know how Joe Thornton came here and Marlowe.
Yeah,
and
it would be an easier conversation if he just started sucking.
I think I saw
he's
today.
Not.
He's
unbelievable. Still,
he's 11th in NHL scoring total.
Yeah, wow.
I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, he's tied for 11th.
Oh, did you guys want the Waddell update?
Yes.
He emailed me today, personally.
What?
Are you tracking down our jersey?
Yes.
Oh
and
my
said,
God! Don't do that.
What? Don't track it down?
No.
Why not?
Because sometimes people say things just to be nice, and they're
he's coming to Toronto because they play in April, and he's like, "Oh, are you guys on air? We're not on air that day because it's the Blue Jays are playing."
Maybe he just doesn't want us to have a jersey.
He wants us to. Don Waddell is the sweetest guy ever. He emailed me personally. He cares. He wants us to have the jersey. I am personally going to go to morning skate to go get the jersey.
Amazing. I'll leave all of this when I see it.
I'm going to go to morning skate and try to get this jersey.
If it's for free, it's for Sammy.
Well, it's for it's not for me. What am I going to wear? It's for the team, boys. It's for the station.
Oh, yeah. Kip's wrong. Yeah, that expression made no sense from Kip.
I clearly adore free things. I would never in a million years. There's nothing I love more than a handout.
Let me guess whose closet the jersey ends up in.
Yeah.
coming from Kip.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
If it's for free, it's for sports, Netty.
Or Kippy.
Or Kippy.
Yeah. Anyways, so there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Good job, Sammy.
Thank you. We got some texts.
All right. We'll take a break here. When we return, we'll get some texts, 590, 590. Sammy will read them. We'll reply to them. And then we start the weekend.
Thank God.
Real Kyper and Bourne. Don't go away. Welcome back to the show. The Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Reminder, this hour, Real Kyper and Bourne, brought to you by Bet365. All right, Sammy, what kind of mood is everybody in?
Good. I mean, I would say we've got some pretty sour Calgary texters about last night, but we actually have a call that's very relevant to what we've been talking about. Well, we haven't talked about this today, but over the past week about Ovi. So this is a caller, Doug in the Philippines. If you want to play that.
Here's another subject for you guys to talk about. I thought you might find worthy. If Ovechkin breaks the record in April, should we really stop the game? What happens if you're playing a team that's in the hunt? They're not going to be very happy. It's a bit of a tricky issue. Perhaps at the end of the game or beginning of the next game, but during the game, something for you guys to discuss. Thanks.
Good point.
Yeah, not an issue for me at all.
Gotta stop it.
The team that they're playing is just going to have to suck it up and be a big part of an historic event.
Here's something tangentially related to the Ovechkin chase. If he scores 6 goals, which I think is he needs 6 to break the record now, 7, 6? 6.
Correct.
If he scores 6 goals in the final 10 games here and he has the record, they stop the game, they do the whole thing, have a playoff run, win a few rounds, whatever, they go out in the conference final. At that point, Ovechkin is the all-time NHL goal-scoring leader.
Including power play goals or playoff goals, you're saying?
Not including playoffs,
Okay.
but he's the all-time goals leader.
Yeah.
He has a Stanley Cup under his belt, Hall of Fame career. He's done everything he can do.
I see where you're going here, buddy.
Is there any chance he just says, all right, I've done my NHL thing. I've accomplished everything. I'm now going to play for Scott.
He's a Dynamo Moscow guy.
Yeah. I'm now going to go play 6-7 years and score a ton there while I'm still good. And
I think the answer is no.
no, he wouldn't go.
I think he's watched Yager and goes, I got another 10 years here.
What in the NHL?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll go spend another 5 or 7 or 10. I think this guy thinks he can play forever.
Yeah.
I think he
I mean, he's going to have a 40-goal year or whatever it is, right?
I've never seen a guy enjoy scoring more in my life. And I've played with some good ones too.
Yeah.
But
he does love it.
Every goal to him feels and looks like probably his first one.
You don't think he would like to score those goals in front of his people?
I think he probably has the number 1,000 on his mind.
I think you're probably right. I
just
thought I'd ask. He's right there. It's 2 seasons for him. 3 seasons.
Yeah. So even if he
point,
if it cuts it down to like 20, 30 goal seasons, he can get it in 3.
How long's his contract?
5, and it kicked in last year or 2 years ago.
I'm just quickly Googling that.
Sam's on it.
He's got 3.
Ovi has 36 goals in 56 games, 60 points plus 19.
What's he got left, Sammy?
I'm just quickly pulling it up here.
The biggest thing that's changed
He's
for
in
him,
year 4 of 5.
Oh, he's okay. I thought so he's got. He'd have to tack on another 2-year deal, I think, to sniff out 1,000.
Looking at this, I'm more on Borny's side.
That he bail?
Yeah, I think he plays out his contract. Maybe plays this year, next year, and then that's it. Now we never see him again.
I mean, he is very patriotic about Russia, and I think he's done his thing and can build something there. He's still good enough that he could beat Josh Levo's record and become some sort of record holder there. Could Ovi go beat Levo's record? It's like
the chase for Levo.
I think he could. Levo's following around the K to watch his record get beat in game 34.
Josh,
the chase for Levo is a sentence I never thought I'd hear.
Yeah.
I think he retires before he ever experiences something like that in the KHL.
I would bet my left leg maybe not that, but I'd bet something pretty serious that he plays games in the KHL in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that for sure, but I just don't. I just think he's so close to something that.
Oh, he's
getting it. Yeah.
No, but that milestone, 1,000 milestone,
and also just
not Gretzky's, 1,000.
And I'm sure he does want to build up some, so he's harder to catch for Matthews when Matthews keeps shooting 50 in for the next decade.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's really slowing down there.
His pace is not as good.
I'm not sure if.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because people are yelling, pass the puck at him his entire prime.
What was Ovi's worst season?
30-something.
31?
I think it was 35.
No, 32.
Okay, I'm Googling it quickly. Fiercely Googling. His worst season, God, he's had amazing years, was 32. You're right.
32.
Yeah.
What,
24 in his shortened season, though.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Okay, yeah.
No, full seasons,
He's
32.
31 and 79, 32 and 79, 32 and 48 is pretty good. 33 and 82, 36 and,
And then a lot of 50s and 60s.
Buddy, it's 65, 56, 53, 52, 51, 51, 50, 50, 50, 49, 48, 40, there's lots of goals. Almost like the most ever, I'd say.
Yeah, he's really shot it in almost. Yeah.
You think Austin
No.
will get close?
No, I think health will be an issue later in his career.
Yeah, but he is at pace right now at Ovi's pace.
For sure.
Yeah, no,
For sure.
it is. But he doesn't have, he just doesn't have that raw power. Like that
He
just
doesn't have,
born with like muleness.
He doesn't have, I think he actually was born with a muleness, but he doesn't have the passion that Ovi has. Ovi loves this, is obsessed with this.
Yes.
I think
go ahead.
he's more likely to host a talk show at 40 than the all-time goals record or something. I don't know.
Catwalks of Milan. What am I looking at here? Hey guys, what do you think? Hey guys, do you think the coaches' challenges are starting to ruin the game? It's killing the flow and getting kind of ridiculous. Love the show. Cheers, a sad Calgary Flames fan.
We all hate it.
Don't.
We all hate it.
No, I hate it, but I
Yeah,
don't think
we all
it's ruining
hate
the
it.
game.
I don't know. They opened up this can of worms, man. It's like there's no going back to this is the only way we can get it right.
It's impossible to. No sport has implemented like rules to get it right with technology and then walked it back and said, we'll just get it wrong. The first time it's ever going to happen is this year, where Major League Baseball had robot umps in the preseason.
Yeah.
And now we're going to let the umps get it wrong in the regular season, and people are going to go crazy, and we're going to get robot umps eventually.
No, we can't.
It's coming.
Ugh. I guess if they're doing it in spring training, it's
Got to
probably
get it
coming.
right, and eventually it's like you can't. There's going to be pitches where everyone agrees that it's the wrong call, and you're just going to have to eat it. Why are we eating it? They're going to have to get it right.
This is where NHL officials are super happy right now. It's like, try to get a robot to call a tripping call.
Yeah.
AI can't call a trip.
No.
Hey guys, Bruce in Thunder Bay. With all these goalie interference calls, is the size of the crease too big? Especially how high it extends out compared to years ago of the semicircle crease or even the old rectangular one.
Yeah, try to get that one through the goalie union.
What if we made your
Shrinking
crease smaller? The players
the
around
crease.
you, get you more in the action.
But these guys are now 6'7", 6'8", some of them. Yeah, there's not a snowball's chance you're getting a blue paint.
I don't have a passive solution for this goaltender thing. It's, every goalie I've talked to about this, including ones in this show, say goalies look for contact. They come out to the contact, engage the contact, and then play goal, just in case they get out of jail.
I'm telling you, it's got to be one of the easiest things to fake contact
get a
to make it
piece of a
look, to
guy.
embellish.
Yeah.
That's the real embellishment.
Yeah.
Is some of these goalies coming out and
But they've always
making
been
it
like
look
that.
like
Goalies are just
somebody's in the way from me doing my job.
yeah. They've been doing that forever though.
Or you just say the hell with it. Just Billy Smith, chop him up, fight it.
Am I out of my mind?
Lanny McDonald, Billy Smith, toe to toe.
Did it not? Am I out of my mind? When I was younger and goalies used to go out to play the puck, could you put contact on a goalie in the corner
I think you could.
like there was no?
Don't ask
trap-
Ryan Miller about that one.
Oh, Ryan Miller, yeah. Mike Smith also used to get
Well,
shot.
no, but remember
Luch.
Oh, he threw.
Hammered him.
That's right.
Hammered him.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Big one. And then he called him some swear words in the
Ryan
media.
Smith used to get hot.
Oh yeah.
Or sorry, Ryan Miller.
We got this guy said, Doug MacLean said it. We're coming for you, Sammy, with love from Ottawa. So I forget the guy's name, but some guy at the Jays game yesterday, Sens hat, just they're puffing their chest
Giving it
out
to
right
you.
now. Oh yeah.
Giving it to you?
Yeah. He came up to me, he's like, I love the show. I'm like, I hate your hat. That's a terrible hat. And he's like, we're coming, rah, 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 rah. Just all juiced up, horned up. They're really it would be sweet for the Leafs to finally figure out one time and just beat the piss out of the Sens. I would love that so much. But it doesn't feel like it's going to happen.
No.
Calm down.
Me?
Yes.
Why?
It's like 3 weeks to go.
I know.
And
But-
it's the weekend.
Well,
Just
yeah, that's
take
for sure.
a deep breath,
That's
would
for
you?
sure.
And hey, you're not going to have that problem when they're playing the Panthers.
I mean, that's not a bad point by you. Lots of texts on the text line about OHL playoffs, WHL playoffs starting
so tell
up.
us what's going on with your boys.
Is this 8 days?
Yeah, probably.
No,
the
listen,
Attack are playing London.
They've played them.
Yeah.
How many times this year? And
Kelowna
how many
Rockets.
went into overtime?
Couple. Listen.
More than a couple.
They play in the same division, the best division in all sports, the Midwest division in the OHL. They're listen, it'll be close. Maybe a couple of games will be close. Probably be 4. But the fact that they're even there is incredible. So I'm really excited. I'm hoping to go on Sunday. But I don't know if you've seen the weather in the GTA this weekend, boys.
It's an ice storm or something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty greasy.
It's
I don't
the
know.
worst weather chunk of the Ontario
It's
calendar.
yeah,
I
always
hate it here.
April.
Yeah.
So
people get
late March, early
pe-
April.
there's a small window in March where you get some nice sun,
Oh, you have
and
faux
you're
spring.
like, it's just a fake
Yeah.
because April comes in and it's like
Not yet.
not yet.
No.
So I'm hoping to go to London on Sunday, and I'm hoping my beloved Attack get it done. Some guy, Nail from Kitchener, said, who picks the jerseys behind you, and do you guys butt heads before it goes up?
The headbutting is that Kip yells at Sam for doing it.
Yes, to make
And
sure I
then
change it.
Sam just arbitrarily does it, which with whatever's important to him that day.
I've been a good boy, though. I haven't put the Attack up too much this year.
We say no Leafs.
I'll look
Yeah.
after the jersey on Monday. How's
yeah?
that?
Oh, we got something special?
Well,
You're gonna
I
forget.
got something.
Oh, you're 100% forgetting.
No, yeah. Remind me.
It'll be the Canucks on Monday,
No,
guys.
remind me.
Yeah, okay.
Not one reminder. I need like 4.
Okay, I'll text you at 3:03 when you leave your house to come into the
Put
station.
an alarm on it to back that one up.
Sounds good. So big weekend for the Leafs. I know we're in the National Hour, but 2 games in on the West.
And we're working again on Sunday, are we not?
Yeah,
Ooh,
Kip
yeah.
and I on the Ducks game, 8 p.m.
They got to get some
That's
points out of these
regional,
2
though.
games. They got to get some points out of these 2 games.
They do.
And the Kings are really good, and the Ducks aren't as bad as you think they are.
Huge game for both teams. Canucks, Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yes.
Tonight in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a doozy. The Flames have the Oilers tomorrow. Battle of Alberta, relevant for both teams.
Yes, sir.
Brad Marchand is going to play for the Florida Panthers tonight against the Utah Utes.
That's going to look really weird.
We also 360 tonight. Golden Knights versus the Blackhawks.
And
No, did I read that wrong?
you're right.
No, it's right. I just
What? I'm just filling time.
So
I'm done.
So we got two more texts.
I'll read whatever you got in front of me just to get us to the
I'm
weekend.
Ron Burgundy.
2 more texts quickly. Surprise Borny is not all over Mike Bossy is the best goal scorer ever from John in Georgetown.
Yeah.
And Kyper needs to put up an old Centennials jersey. Is that what you were going to bring? Did I spoil it?
They only have one, and it's in a frame.
Oh, okay.
It's in a frame.
Yeah, I've seen it on. I've seen your little backdrop.
Yeah, I got it on a backdrop.
No one wants my Vernon Vipers
We had
Atlanta
it. We
Thrasher
used to
style.
we used to put it all the time. I used to put my beer league jersey up, but Kyper became the
That's right.
Kyper became the jersey place.
Bossy does deserve more love, but longevity was a thing for Ovi here. So.
Our thanks to Doug MacLean on Off the Rails Friday and all the callers in the text.